warm anymore.
It's not warm anymore, man. It's not warm anymore at all.
I've always said this. Al Gore should be put on a pedestal of intelligence.
Yes, he should.
Because this man, 21 plus years ago, predicted global warming.
Yeah, he said this was going to happen.
It's literally happening.
It's literally happening right now. There's no such
things as I don't think fall or spring exist anymore.
No.
The concept of it from a weather perspective.
No. It went from this is an unusually mild fall, almost summer-like, to why is it so cold now?
It was 48 degrees today in New York.
Yeah.
So, and 2 weeks ago, it was 78. So, there's a massive – I mean, again, I by no means am a green guy or, I don't – I support big business and capitalism, so I don't really play. I mean, I recycle. Don't get me wrong. So
that's good. I'm glad you recycle.
We do find it to be amusing, almost ridiculous that it actually is happening and people still don't do anything about it.
Yeah.
There's still massive use of coal in China.
What did John Doe and Seven, right? Kevin Spacey said it's when you have to tell people something, you can't just politely tell them. You have to punch them in the face or something like that for them to get it. So normally something tragic will have to happen. Unfortunately, probably in a place that doesn't take it too seriously.
Massive tornadoes and hurricanes.
Yeah, something like that.
In the last 5 years,
right? And I feel like that's changed because, what we believe, experts aren't necessarily what people believe anymore. Remember when we were younger, it was the ozone layer. You had scientists were
that's okay now, right?
Scientists were the ozone layer is going to be fucked if we don't stop doing these things. And people were okay, scientists, we'll stop doing those things. And the ozone layer repairs itself. Now, today, if somebody were to say that there'd be social media and other non-people would be these guys are under the thumb of the government and it's a conspiracy. It's who's playing big ozone is or big science is paying these guys to say it. So while it's good that there's more opposition for things and more questioning, some things like science are just being questioned by non-scientists. And it's okay. Welcome.
Listen to scientists.
Listen to scientists.
Let's listen to scientists.
That's been a common theme from Michael, and I co-sign on that. Welcome to the If We Were Betting Men podcast. Your co-host, Kwaisi Franson. The Asian daddy is gone.
No, I mean, I from such genius of 2 weeks ago.
It was.
I mean, I didn't lose, right? I was a little above 500, but.
Well, like I said, we're like a New York crime family. It sucks when the Jets or the Giants win because normally you have people betting them and because of the home team bias, and then they always lose. So it's you clean
funny
up.
Stat, the Jets have beaten the two best teams in the AFC.
Yes, they have. Yes, they have.
I have a buddy who's a Jets fan, and he was at work, and he was telling me about this. He's our 2 wins are against the two best teams.
They are. They are, and we have a legend. We have the birth of a new legend now.
I mean, I'm playing tonight. That's the first game, so we're segueing right into it. I mean,
the 21st century Sage Rosenfels, right? Mike White, 403 touchdowns. We all remember Sage Rosenfels.
I don't even remember. I forgot to look it up. Who is this guy?
I think it was Eastern Kentucky or Western Kentucky, undrafted free agent. They literally brought him in
Florida. And then he transferred to Western Kentucky.
Western Kentucky, there you go.
He's 26 years old.
Yeah.
He's 6'5". He's not small.
Good size.
Was actually a baseball pitcher, it says.
He had a good arm. We saw that, right?
In college, actually 2 years at Kentucky, he threw for plus 4,000 yards. Western Kentucky, sorry.
Yeah.
Had decent stats. 1 year is 37 touchdowns, 7 picks. Pretty good.
I just think it's pretty funny how he was literally brought in not to challenge Zach Wilson, right? So Zach Wilson would win the job outright. And now, like you say, they asked Robert Saleh, what if Mike White continues to play well? Is he going to keep the job? And he was like, yes. And it was wait a second. I thought we invested the number 2. But I showed you and actually Gioni. Shout out to our friend Dave Giancola, Jets fan. where Jets officials were like, we chose the wrong guy. Like they were like, well, you won't like this.
Already?
They said it was Sam Darnold 2.0, like they chose the wrong quarterback again or whatever.
It just happened. Like, wasn't this like the Gus Farad, Heath Schuler thing?
Yeah.
Where like they drafted Heath Schuler, and then
they drafted both. Heath Schuler was like the number
Cousins and RG3. Granted, RG3 got injured too. Like it's the same thing. Like
Heath Schuler was like the number 2 or 3 overall pick, and Gus Farad was in the 7th round. They get to practice, and Mark Schlereth was like, no, the 7th round guy is easily better than Heath Schuler. And they were like,
I mean, Cousins and RG3 were first.
Cousins beat him out.
I don't know.
We got an exciting show. For those of you who this is your first time watching, you've heard of. People are spreading this around, Michael. It's interesting.
Good to hear.
You know, you don't think you
spark.
Yeah, you think you're just doing it
all
for
you need is just 1 or 2, and then
you think you're just doing it, because you enjoy it, good company, and all of a sudden people are like, I like your podcast, and it's like, okay, like thanks,
thank you for the 5 of you out there. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate it. Yeah.
I think last week it was only 2 though, so hey, we're doubling up.
Yeah, but more people watch. They don't watch live. They watch like the repeat things or whatever.
All right, let's get into it, right?
Which is great. Yeah.
We do have some other topics we want to talk about too. This is a juicy week for stupidity. So
yes, it is. Yes, it is. Mike and I, per the write-up, we kind of sort of discussed the intersection of sports, markets, analytics, and business. But mainly, there's a little bit of griping that happens also outside of our NFL picks. We both have a low threshold for stupidity, and there's a lot of it going on this week. So we'll give you our picks because I know that's what a lot of you are here for.
We save some time at the end, though.
And we'll save some time at the end to what's the Peter Griffin? What really grinds our gears? Now that thing.
Exactly.
What really grinds our gears. So to give you an update for the season, we both lost last week. Mike was 1 game over 500. I was 3 games over 500. The problem was the Jets. We both had Cincinnati winning last week. Cincinnati lost, seeing that we do pick money lines as well. That was like a $600 swing. Yeah.
There are upsets in the world.
Yeah, there are upsets. This doesn't always go
like a monumental. I mean, literally, the Bengals were the number.
They were the number 1 seed.
Not even arguably, if the season started the playoff, they would have been the number 1 seed.
They would have been the number 1 seed, and they lost.
You said the Jets are beating the 2 best teams. Literally, the 2 best teams in the AFC.
They did. Though I did say last week, and it's on tape, that the Jets would probably be better without Zach Wilson because he's overwhelmed and lost. And we got the legend of Mike White, right? 403 touchdowns.
We shall see tonight.
We'll see if that continues tonight.
In 2.5 hours.
In 2.5 hours, we'll see. I'm actually going to watch that game. I'll be watching a little NBA and watching the game also.
I may not watch the game tonight.
We're watching the game also. So, yeah, Mike was 23-22 last week. That's about 51% loser. So, and down 1,057 units. He's still a very robust 155 and 114 for the year, 576, so 58%, big winner, and he's up 455 units. I was 23-20 last week, still on my slow ascent upwards, the little engine that could. 53%, which without the money line would put me in the winner's bracket. However, the Jets. So I was down 433 units. I'm 151 and 142, which is 51.5% loser, and down 1,244 units for the year. Generally, just to give you an idea.
Trending up.
It's trending up.
Is this now the middle of the season?
We're right in the middle of the season, man. This is
weird 17 game schedule. What's the middle of the season?
We're week 9. This is week 8. Week 18.
Oh, so it is an 18 weeks season.
Yeah, it's 18 weeks, right? Every team gets a bye, 17 games. Just so you get an idea of what it takes. Now, Mike and I bet the money lines because we want to appeal to you degenerates out there who have to make a bet. But generally, if you are at 52.5%, right? Without the money, with the money line bet, you got to be at like 55. If you're at 52.5%, just spreading the numbers, which are the over under and the spreads, you'll be making money, right? So
not a lot,
but
hey,
you want to be in the green.
So,
yeah, you want to be in the green. So Mike is still in the midst of having an excellent year. I'm in the midst of a mediocre year, actually a subpar year, though trending upwards, and with the money line still in a hole. Mike is still in the green. So as long as he's in the green and above that 55% moniker, he's where you want to roll. So I'm surprised you took away the Asian daddy. You gotta go take the
maybe you need to change it up.
Right?
Maybe you need to, I mean, I guess I still have momentum, but like, sometimes gotta shake it up.
Everybody got hurt with the Jets last week. A lot of people got hurt with that.
Gotta shake it up. Some of your games last week, Jets. Sure. I guess the Chargers are bad.
I called that though.
You did, but
Chargers aren't bad. New England's good.
I mean, literally, let's talk about it. Is the best team in the NFL the Dallas Cowboys?
That's what a lot of people think, man. I think it's the Rams. Like, how could it not be your Super Bowl pick?
Or no. Hey, I was going to end with that, but I still think the Rams are I mean, now, especially with this Von Miller trade, they're definitely still probably the best. I mean, you got to applaud a team that's like, we don't care about draft picks.
Yeah, I think he has it set up where I think what really hurt him, even more so than Goff's shittiness last year, was that Super Bowl. I think it stings Sean McVay that he got to the Super Bowl and lost 10-3. I think that hurts. Like, he's like an offensive guru, right? An offensive mastermind.
I mean, clearly the Arizona Cardinals are not the best team. They got spanked on Thursday.
They did.
By Green Bay's backup. We'll get into the stupidity of the Packers.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't even know if it's stupid. Like, I mean, I look at Aaron Rodgers. I look at Aaron Rodgers differently. Like, is he just a liar? Like, is that? He looked at all. He was like, they were like, "You've been vaccinated." He's like, "Yes, I have." And it's like,
well, he said he was immunized.
Okay.
Like, how did anyone pick up on that and was like, "What does that mean exactly?"
Yeah, exactly. It's the natural.
Like, literally, I would ask, like, "What is that?"
Yeah. The natural follow-up. We'll get to that too.
Immunized? Anyway.
Immunized, yeah.
Let's talk about the legend of Mike White tonight.
Yeah, he's got a new age girlfriend too. She got a lot of heat. But, of course, she has to be vaccinated for the movie that she's working on now. So there we go. Right?
Yeah.
There's our first game. We'll get right into it. The legend of White.
I guess it is in Indy.
It's in Indy.
I'm a little shocked that this is so high, though, to be frank.
Why?
Because Indianapolis won last week against.
They lost.
I mean, sorry, they almost won. They were in a close game against the Titans. And then they have looked much better in they almost did. Well, they did kind of beat the Ravens, even though they lost that too. So they are trending up. Obviously, no one believes in the legend of Mike White. According to this. So, I mean, listen, I think one game wonder. I'm going to take it. Mike White is a one-game wonder. Colts are rolling in this one, I think.
You speak for yourself here, sir. I do think the Colts are going to win because they're a better team, but I have a history of betting for the Jets, right? Because the Jets are always double-digit underdogs, right? So.
Always.
I heard something always. They're always double-digit underdogs. I heard something interesting. I forget who said it. They're like, who Carson Wentz is now? Like, he's Jameis Winston. Like, he makes spectacular plays, but then he makes like huge mistakes where you're like, why did you do that? Like, he makes plays where you're like, okay, this guy is super talented. Then he makes other plays. It's like, why did you do that? That play at the end of the game last week bodied like Carson Wentz. It's like, okay, you threw a left-handed interception from your own end zone. It's like, oh, it's 50 seconds left, and you drove 70 yards and scored a touchdown to tie the game. I think, given that, I think the 10.5, I think the Jets cover it. I believe in Mike White. I think this is Mike White's opportunity. The Jets are outmanned, so I think the Colts win the game. But I'm going to go Jets plus 10.5. Indianapolis to win, and it's a large number, minus 525.
Yeah.
I'm going to go the over 46.5 because Mike White puts up points. Yeah. He's going to be tossing that thing around.
I think this Colts defense is a better defense than that Bengals defense.
True. Very true.
Yeah, and it's at home. Last week was at New York.
True.
I kind of just think, like, it's like, come on, these Jets are horrible. Like, I think everyone. I think Robert Saleh is overmatched as a head coach, unfortunately. I don't think he's bad potentially, but this team is just not what you want as your first starting head coaching job. Like, it's kind of like Urban in Jacksonville. Like, that team is just in disarray. So, like, I think I'm going to take the under Colts minus 10.5 and then money line Indy.
Yeah.
So two different than you, but, like, I don't know. This is a weird game. Like, it's kind of a shit game.
I kind of sort of figured that's where you were headed.
This is
you've actually done much better. You actually done much better than me this year, not only overall but really with the Jets thing. Like, you seem to have had a lot of success betting against the Jets.
Kind of like when the NBA, right? Don't you pick teams when they like are on losing streaks? You're like, this team can't win.
Yeah, this team can't win. That's how the NBA goes. You look for trends and you just ride the hot trend, right?
Of like against though, it's kind of
yeah.
Like you're betting someone they're going to crap out.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You don't want to be that guy at the table though, betting for the crap.
The no pass bar. No.
Yeah, you got to be. That's the ballsy guy.
I have gone to AC and seen who I deemed a bunch of losers at the other side of the table, and I went all no pass on them. And
no, they're really
that guy. And it's not easy. You don't want to.
It's not easy being that guy. I think your odds are a little better. I think your odds are a little better betting the no pass line.
It is, of course, but and then you can see like a group of people. You're like, those are losers.
Yeah, no, they're not favored at the table at all. That's not who you want to. That's not who you want to.
I mean, listen, this is a turd game, but if you got to bet, this is our thoughts.
Yeah. So Mike and I are at odds over
money line and spread.
Yeah, the money line and the spread.
Yes, the Colts are going to win.
The Colts, we both very much believe the Colts are going to win. But
hey, who thought the Cincinnati Bengals were going to lose?
I certainly did not. I don't think you did either.
Did not.
Here's our next one, near and dear to our hearts.
Yeah.
Tough game.
Yeah. This is not an easy one.
No, it's not.
Because I think Minnesota does not have a good record. What are they, like 4-4?
I think they're 4-4, maybe something like that.
Lost a couple close. They're like not bad though, right? They lose close games. They had like Dalvin was injured a bunch. Like I think Baltimore is rested. I think Baltimore was kind of running a little ragged, right? Like that team is obviously depleted. You got guys who are, like it's just nice that like some of our running backs got like practice time. Like we're literally throwing dudes back there hoping that they can like learn the plays in a day. Like
it's not good.
So, and our defense was banged up too. I think I think Lamar just needs I think in general the Ravens are going to benefit from this bye week significantly. Okay. So I'm going to take Ravens at home minus 5.5. I think Minnesota is good, but like Kirk Cousins is always going to mess up somehow, throw a pick or something in the fourth. I don't know. They'll miss a field goal or something. Like I don't know. They're kind of like
the kicker is shaky.
Yeah. So like I'm going to take Ravens to win. Ravens minus 5.5. I think Ravens are going to win by a touchdown. 49.5 is weird.
Yeah.
28-21. 49 points there.
Yeah.
35-28. Probably seems more realistic. I'm going to go over 50. These are not super high defensive teams, right? Even
they're not.
Like I know what's his name, the head coach of the Vikings.
Vikings, yeah.
A defensive guy, but I think they're just rolling with their offensive firepower.
Zimmer is like Bill Parcells' defensive.
They got they got the 2 elite receivers. They got the elite running back. Like Ravens are going to have a hard time stopping this team, but I also think that the Vikings will have a hard time stopping the Ravens.
Okay. I'm in accordance with you. I like the Ravens to win at home. However, I think Minnesota doesn't really get blown out. They play in close games. They usually play in one possession games where either they have a chance to win the game at the end or they lose it somehow. Also,
they fumbled in the end zone or fumbled it in overtime, right?
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Also, I think the 49.5 is too high only because I think both teams are going to kind of sort of re-emphasize running the ball. I think Minnesota is going to focus on Dalvin. The Ravens are bad pass defense, and Minnesota does have two good receivers to your point. So I think we end up looking at kind of sort of a ball control, keep the ball out of the other team's offense kind of a game. So I'm going to take the under 49.5. And like I said, I like Minnesota to keep this close. I actually would not be shocked if Minnesota won this game because I'm kind of low on the Ravens. But the home field advantage in Baltimore is fantastic, in spite of what we saw the last time the Ravens were at home, where that debacle. Yeah, that was bad. That was real bad.
Yeah, we were out that game.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
All right, so we have two differences again, but hey,
we do. Little variance never hurt anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Next up, we have, and I was a little bit not confused, but it's more of a personnel thing, right? Are we going to see? Is it Matt Rule and PJ Walker time? Are we going to take it back to Matt Rule's Temple days? Or are we going to see Sam the Man Darnold get back on the horse to prove his toughness? Right? New England at Carolina.
Hey, New England's on a roll, right? They just beat. They beat the Chargers in.
They are. Mac Jones running away with rookie.
That's a big accomplishment.
Yeah, Mac Jones is going to run away and hide with this rookie of the year.
I think bad quarterbacks get exploited by Bill Parcells.
Bill Belichick for sure. Both, right?
Parcells. I like saying Parcells.
Yeah.
Belichick exposes bad quarterbacks.
Yeah.
That's like his MO, I think. Like,
yeah.
You're a bad quarterback. I know you're a bad quarterback.
Yeah. I'm going to take away what you like to do and see if you can adjust, right?
Yeah, exactly. Under 41. I don't know. I think this is all Chargers. I mean, not Chargers. Sorry, Patriots. I think the Carolinas is kind of a mess right now. I think Christian McCaffrey's playing though, right?
Is he? That has impact on my fantasy team.
Double check. I thought he could return to play.
He was practicing. He could return to play. I saw that.
Well, that doesn't mean yes, though.
No, it doesn't.
Not a good. That's like not yes in the NFL.
And unfortunately, Christian McCaffrey, when given the opportunity to be the lead guy, had one great year, and then the scouting report has just played itself out to a T. Right? He's too small to.
Well, unfortunately, Christian McCaffrey is now going to be sort of listed as injury prone, right? I mean, he hasn't really played much the last few seasons, unfortunately.
He gets injured right now. Like
it sucks, but like he is now definition of injury prone.
Yeah.
He is still elite, though. I mean, that guy
is still elite.
But he's definitely injury prone.
He's injury prone. Carolina's coming off a big win, though. Right?
They are against Atlanta.
Divisional team, divisional win, which they sorely needed.
Atlanta's probably like that bucket of 5.
Matt Rule did exactly what he said he wanted to do, right? Take the ball out of Sam Darnold's hands. I think Chuba Hubbard had 30 touches, right? 25 carries and 5 catches. Yeah.
I don't know. I just think New England is just Matt Rule is not a bad coach, but like they're just not. They don't have the personnel, right? They don't have.
Yeah.
They just don't have the team.
Yeah. So what are you going with?
I'm gonna go New England. Let's ride this little patch. Pats are not probably gonna make. I mean, they may make the playoffs. Maybe they're. I mean, the AFC is such a mess that the Pats sneaking in as a wild card.
They're one game out. They're one game out of the best record in the AFC, right?
Not out of the realm of possibilities. I don't think they are good, to be honest. But like, I feel like Belichick knows how to like get to the playoffs, right?
Personnel's
like,
not his thing, right?
Yeah,
he doesn't really
he
care
knows
about
how to
having
adapt
personnel.
your shit squad to make wins.
Yeah,
so,
that's like how he rolls.
Yeah, so I'm gonna take. 4 points. It's like almost a pick 'em. If you really want to be safe, maybe buy a point for 3.
Yeah,
but why not? I'll take Pats at home. On the road at 4. I'll take Pats to win, and I'll take definitely under 41. This is going to be a 10-7 game or something. I don't even know. Right?
I'm with you on the Pats with the spread. I'm obviously on the Pats to win. Yeah. I'm going to take the over only because it's not that many points. It's 41. I could easily see this being, 24-17. I don't think that's not a high-scoring game. I would have thought, last week's against the Chargers, who have a better team with a better defense, defensive touchdown, right? And the pick 6, so it ended up being 27-24. I think 41 points. It's pretty easy to get over that. Over 4, it's 10 points a quarter. It's a touchdown, a field goal a quarter, and you're okay.
Was it the Steelers? What was the Steelers-Browns game?
15-10. That was an AFC North. That was an old school AFC North slobber knocker, right?
True. But I'm just saying.
I do agree with you. I think this game is going to be defensive.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm just not sure 41 is that's pretty low.
I disagree. So.
Man, that's pretty low.
We have only one disagreement this one.
Yeah, we only have one disagreement this time.
I just think Belichick he wins these bad games.
Yeah, we have a 20-year track record of him winning with inferior personnel, right? Yeah. The one time they had superior personnel, they actually lost the Super Bowl, right? They went undefeated and then lost.
The lost team. So
yeah. But normally, he's all about shit teams, and it's like you do your job or whatever, and then I'll outcoach the other guy, and that's how we'll win, right? So that's what Keyshawn Johnson was talking about, and who else? Louis Riddick. They were like, yeah. Parcells is not that great of you have me saying it now. Belichick is not that great of a GM or talent guy, but he actually works better with lesser talent because it's easier just to tell those people, you're not good enough to do that. Just do your job, and then we'll take it from there. Speaking of AFC North slobber knockers, our next one.
Yeah.
Cleveland at Cincinnati with the Cleveland amidst the OBJ saga. As we can see, the public is pretty low on Cincinnati now, post the Jets loss. Same old Bengals. Is that where we are?
Yeah, I don't know what happened last week with Cincinnati. They should have won that game, obviously, and we're in a position to win that game. They just kind of, I guess, ran into the brilliance of Mike White. So I don't think Burrow played badly. I think
AFC Offensive Player of the Week, Mike White.
Yeah, I just think
touchdowns.
Let's put it this way: Cleveland's a mess right now.
They
they're literally telling elite players not to. OBJ is probably not the same quality as he was those really good years in the Giants, but you're trying to win games here.
I think the consensus amongst pretty much everybody is that they're a worse team without OBJ, right? Even though they played better without him.
Let's just sit in the room and be like, dude, let's just work this out.
Yeah.
Maybe they have, and clearly they've reached a point with him where he is not going to be beneficial to be on the team. So
this has been brewing. His dad has an 11-minute video of him not being
the other mitigating factors here outside of just this week. So. Or what's happened this week.
We got the backdrop of Baker Mayfield's extension too, right? They're still.
Yeah, Baker, it kind of sucks for that guy, right? He's never really so many different coaching changes, so many injuries, never got it together. I don't think he probably is not an elite quarterback by any means, but I feel like he probably is a little better than what he is, right?
Yeah, maybe.
The results,
Maybe. These are the best results he's gotten, though, and it's with the coach who was like, "We're going to take the ball out of your hands. We're going to run the ball."
But Cleveland also doesn't have I guess Chubb is playing. I don't know. They just seem like a mess. Well, Cincinnati probably just had a letdown because they smoked the Ravens the week before. So Cincinnati is a playoff team. Cleveland is not a playoff team. Cincinnati is on the up. Cleveland is on the down. I'm going to take the Bengals.
Yeah, I mean, well, mind you, Cleveland is one game out of the best record in the AFC.
But they seem to be on the down.
They do seem to be on the down.
So
where are you going?
Out of Ohio, like Cincinnati kind of has like, I think they lost to the Steelers, but they seem to be like, getting back at those AFC guys that have been bullying them all the time. So like, let's do it. Let's take the Bengals at home. Let's take the Bengals. I mean, plus or minus 135, whatever. It's a pick 'em. This is a pick 'em. It's a field goal. Can the Bengals beat them by a field goal? Yes.
Yeah.
It's going to be over. I think it's going to be over 47. I just think Cincinnati, like Jamar Chase, that like they just have more firepower than the Browns for sure. So like, I think they're over too. I don't think this Browns defense is elite. I don't think this Bengals defense is elite. Like, going to be a little bit more of a high scoring game. I think like 20. Let's say like 35-27.
Yeah. So I have this as your AFC North slobber knocker. I'm definitely with you with Cincinnati to win and the money line, but I'm going to take the under only because both teams know one another. I think Cincinnati's going to look to correct some of the things that legend Mike White exposed last week. And I also think, like, who are Cleveland's weapons, right? Like Cleveland,
yeah, but they're just kind of like this ground and pound thing. They are.
They are. Cincinnati's
defense is
Cincinnati's weakness is clearly the secondary, though.
But they're just atrocious. Their defense.
Yeah, yeah. Their weakness is the secondary. So we're in accordance here, except for the number. Mike has the over. I'm going to take the under. This game is also interesting, at least when I was looking at it, because of the number, right? Mm-hmm. It's two winning teams. This next game, it's two winning teams, but the number is really high. Or I should say two teams at 500 or higher. But it's a double-digit number, though, which is interesting to me. Denver at Dallas. I know Dak is playing.
We've been debating. I think Dallas is the best team in the NFL.
Yeah. Dak is playing.
Denver I think that was smart of them. They still beat the Vikings without that. So,
with Cooper Rush.
Congrats. You got your win.
And they didn't even play. It wasn't even like the game plan changed, right? They kind of sort of did what they normally would do. Like, obviously, Cooper Rush isn't Dak, but, like, they didn't, play conservatively at all.
Denver is just like a very mediocre team. Yeah. Like Denver has wins, but they're like against the Giants, the Jets, I forgot who, like the Jags or something. Yeah. Washington. They beat Washington. Like
Denver, I think you just named their 4 wins. Yeah, and they've got 4
Denver's
losses
not
against
really them. For instance, Baltimore went there and crushed them in Denver.
Yeah.
Dallas is on a roll, and they're definitely. You can argue Dallas is the best team in the NFC/NFL. I mean, otherwise, yes. So I'm going to take Dallas. I think Big D at home, minus 10 is a lot. But come on, you don't think Dallas can win this game by 2 touchdowns? Dallas does play down, though.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
10 is a lot. Let's just roll with the hot hand. Screw it.
Yeah.
Roll with the hot hand. Dallas minus 10. Dallas is definitely going to win this game. I don't think they're going to lose this game. 10 is a lot, but I'm going to say let's roll with the hot hand of Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Dallas has been they're 8. They haven't had a bye. They're 7-0 since
Dallas had a bye.
I mean, arguably could be undefeated.
They could be undefeated. If Greg Zuerlein makes makeable field goals in week 1, they win the game, right?
Yeah. So I'm going to take Dallas across the board, 10, covering the 10, money line, and then I think Denver will not score much in this game. So I'm going to take under 49.5.
Yeah. I could not agree with you more here. That's pretty much exactly your analysis. Is pretty much exactly what I have. Also, I think Dallas is the hot team. You can make an argument they're the best team in the NFL. Dak will be back. Denver lost probably the leader in their locker room, right? Those certainly the longest tenure.
Yeah, I mean, what kind of message does that send, right? I don't think Denver's even out of the playoffs. Maybe
they aren't. They're 4-4. They're 1 game out of
it. They traded away their best guy.
Yeah. Oh, now, granted, if you're management, you're like, we got a second and third round pick for a 32-year-old defensive end. You're like, that's a win. But like,
yeah, totally. Yeah.
But
like,
but
to your point, the fans that.
Yeah, to your point, it sends a message. What kind of message does it send to the fans in the locker room? It's like, do you believe in us? And maybe we'll talk about it at the end. It's the anti-Braves move, right? The Braves lose Acuna at the trade deadline. They're like, no, fuck it, we're still gonna go for it, right? And they won 88 whole games in the regular season and won the World Series. 88 whole games they won. 88 and 74. Right? Yeah. You just want to get in the tournament. That's all you want to do.
Yeah. I mean, Denver is not out of it, like you
said. Not at all.
Definitely a mess. So
yeah,
like the Chiefs are down this year. So like maybe Vegas is the best team in that division. So like, and they just fired their coach and got rid of a star player. So
they did. Yeah.
I don't know. I just think I don't disagree with you. Value is value. Get it. But also, like, what are you sending a message to your squad? Like, anyway,
it's tough.
Yeah, Dallas on a roll, man. Dallas. Last year they wanted to get rid of Mike McCarthy. Now they're kissing his ass. So, like, hey,
Mike McCarthy won up Zimmer last week for sure. I don't think I think Minnesota expected a slimmed down, more conservative playbook, and they didn't get that right. Kellen Moore and Mike McCarthy were like, yeah, we're gonna.
I mean, Mike McCarthy literally, they thought they were going to fire him last year.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. He's 8-1 this year, or 7-1.
I think Dak getting hurt saved him, right? You can't really evaluate him with the starting quarterback.
I don't think Mike McCarthy, that guy's a Super Bowl. He's not a bad coach.
He's not bad. He's not bad. He just didn't get along with Aaron Rodgers, who might be a liar.
Yeah, clearly.
He might be a liar, so... Mike and I, first game, we're in accordance and across the board.
Yeah, across the board.
Here's our next one.
Is this the third game? No, not yet.
Not yet.
There is a third game, and you know which one I'm talking about.
I know exactly which one you're talking about. Wow. This one is...
This is also pretty ridiculous.
The only thing that gives you pause for concern is that money line number that can ruin your season betting. That can ruin your NFL season betting if some fluke miracle happens and Urban puts together a game plan and Buffalo doesn't take it seriously, right?
Jacksonville got absolutely destroyed last week.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
In Seattle, I mean, we all predicted that, but like
we both called that. We both picked that.
Very average Seattle season
with Geno Smith starting.
Yeah. Like, very average team. They got destroyed.
Yeah.
James Robinson still banged up. He might play. I mean,
I think he avoided a major injury. Yeah.
I think they're just like bad. Like Urban Meyer is just not a good NFL coach, right? I think that's the bottom line. Like, I mean, obviously they're coming off and they have the number 1 pick, so they are bad. I don't think they're improving. You feel bad for Trevor Lawrence. I think.
I think their offense was affected when Etienne went down. He was going to kind of sort of be Alvin Kamara type, right?
Yeah. I mean, listen, but every team's gone through injuries, so you can't totally ping that on that. But I do think that, Jack's 14 is a lot.
14 and a half.
And Buffalo is arguably the best team in the AFC now.
They are. Buffalo,
they
Tennessee,
also
right?
Had sort of some weird games and not dominating. I mean, listen, Buffalo's going to win. So, like, just put that in. Like, yes, you got to risk $1,000 to win. Bet, but like, Buffalo is going to win.
Yeah.
I think 48.5 is also probably the over because I think this is a shootout. Like, Buffalo is going to put up points. They put up points anyway, and then like. They'll take guys out, and then maybe there'll be like some garbage touchdowns for the Jags at the end. So like 48.5 is like a very possible like 35-20 game, 35-21. You
got Buffalo covering the 14.5?
No, I have not gotten to that point yet. 35-21. That does not cover 14.5.
No, it doesn't.
I do think the over. I like the over. I like the money line for Buffalo. The half point gives you pause.
Yes, it does.
Fuck it. I'm gonna do it. Jacksonville covers.
Yeah.
at home. Why not, dude? Let's give them a chance.
Yeah. So
over 49. High scoring game.
I just worry about last week, and because last week we were in accordance on Miami and Buffalo, and it was 13.5, and that game was really close until the end, right? And then Buffalo ends up covering, right? That was 13.5, and they won, 26-11, something like that?
Yeah.
Because I'm with you again here as well. I like Jacksonville to cover the 14.5 at home. I like Buffalo to win. It could call it a recency bias. I think they look at the Miami tape. Now, I don't know if Jacksonville is the same kind of personnel that Miami has, particularly with Xavier Howard kind of sort of. Stephon Diggs got the one touchdown, but otherwise Xavier Howard kind of took him out of the game.
Jacksonville doesn't have that personnel.
Yeah, I don't know if Jacksonville has that kind of, shutdown kind of corner.
No,
right?
I think it's more like they get up big, and then Jacksonville, because of like scrub time, covers.
Yeah, the 14. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna have the under. Again, maybe I shouldn't, because Buffalo Miami again is that's a divisional matchup, right? So they kind of sort of know one another. But I think Jacksonville could be up, or up in the sense that they have some pride, and Buffalo is probably overlooking Jacksonville. I would think they wouldn't be, but that's just human nature. So I'm gonna go Jacksonville to cover the 14.5. I like Buffalo to win the game. And I'm going to go with the under 48.5. Maybe this is a trend and the league is starting to catch up with Buffalo and the offense. They're kind of sort of, you would think Sanders, Beasley, and Stephon Diggs are pretty good receivers. Dawson Knox, I guess, at tight end. I'm not sure about the Buffalo offensive line, not in the sense that Josh Allen is taking a lot of sacks, because he's not. He's actually really good now at avoiding sacks, where he used to take a ton of sacks. Mm-hmm. But he doesn't really have a lot of time to throw. Miami got consistent pressure last week. But again, to our earlier point, I don't know if Jacksonville's defense has the personnel that Miami does. But
Emmanuel Sanders had no catches last week.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, Miami's a good secondary. We know that.
Yeah, Miami, I think, is a team that's good, but just not
really weird.
Well.
Yeah, it's really weird what they have.
Well, like Jacksonville is just bad.
Jacksonville's a bad team. They are. But we'll see. So Mike and I are in accordance there, except for
money line.
The number. He likes the over. I'm going to take the under. The next one is actually a perfect transition, because we were just talking about Miami. Here's the third game that Mike always looks forward to every week we discuss. They're usually a couple. And this is the one this
third game of third games.
Yeah.
This is
the one this week. This is not good.
Hey, Tyrod Taylor's starting.
1-7 Houston at 1-7 Miami.
Tyrod Taylor starting.
He is.
I don't know if that necessarily means they're going to win.
I don't know what that means, but he is starting.
I mean, I don't understand. Like, okay, this is why I'm going to argue against Tyrod Taylor starting.
Okay.
Because they're bad, right? This is not a good team. Like, this
they're
is
not a good
very
team.
Well known. This is a bad team.
I agree.
Tyrod Taylor the future of your team? No,
he's not.
Play the young guy and see if he can actually do it.
Well, we've got a nice 8-game sample size on Davis Mills, and it does not look good.
Fair enough, but like,
I guess the best thing you can say is that he's not scared.
Taylor, this is going to be like the third team he's starting for in the last like he started even games for the Ravens. He started for the Bills. He started for Cleveland. He started for Chargers. He's now starting for Houston. Like, he's now, you know who he is now? He's Fitzmagic Light.
Yeah, he's like Fitzmagic. Yeah, he is.
Like, this guy is just the journeyman plug-in starter.
I think if you're David Culley, though,
you just got to get some wins. You got
to get some wins. I was going to say, particularly as a first-time black head coach. We saw what happened with Steve Wilkes. Like, you can get fired, and people will be like, yeah, like, you only got a year, but you did really suck. So,
I mean, Miami's rolling with Tua for the rest of this year, at least.
Miami's rolling with Tua the rest of this year.
It's not like Deshaun Watson was going to play, so I don't understand the trade for.
Yeah, I don't know what was going to happen with Deshaun. I actually don't know what's going to happen with Deshaun Watson next year. You saw they were working on a settlement, and it kind of sort of like It fell apart because the NDAs, the victims were like, yeah, we don't want to sign non-disclosure agreements. We want to tell people what you did to us. And they're like, nah, we don't, we don't need to do that. The old Trump Bloomberg.
Listen, it seems good for Tua that he's going to be the guy for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Miami Dolphins going to make the playoffs? No. 7-8 or like it's 17 games, 7-10, like 6-9, yeah, or 6 and oh god, this fucking 17 game thing. Can they get to like a 7-10 record? Yeah,
I think they can.
6-11 record.
Yeah,
6-11.
Yeah,
can they be competitive enough? I don't think Brian Flores should be fired.
Oh, he won't. They got also remember they got a bunch of picks, right?
Yeah, I think no, they traded their pick to Philly this year.
I thought Miami had picks though.
We'll
look into that.
I don't remember. Anyway, I think it's the opposite. Well, no, maybe it's the Bears. Anyway, I don't know. Whatever. I don't think Tua is the answer from this guy's an elite quarterback, but is he possibly a starter in the NFL? Yes.
Yeah.
Are the Dolphins better than they are? Yes.
Yeah.
It's in Miami, so I'm going to roll with the Dolphins to win by a touchdown. This is a horrible Houston team. Horrible.
Yeah, they're really bad.
They're really bad. I don't care if it's Tyrod Taylor, Davis Mills, whoever. Like they don't have any. They literally have no.
What I don't get is they trading Mark Ingram makes sense. Why didn't they trade Brandon Cooks?
Yeah,
he has value. Yeah, I don't get that.
What are they like? They have nothing.
Yeah, I don't get that. Like they should be trading all pieces that have any veteran piece up for value. They should be trading for picks, right? Like I don't.
100%. So I agree. I think this is all Miami. Miami steamrolls. I think this gets them back on track, winning wins.
Yeah.
And, I think it's under 46. These are not. I don't. How does Houston score points?
So I think I'm with you with Miami to win and Miami to cover. I think Houston does score points because I think Tyrod's going to be able to move the ball.
To who?
Brandon Cooks. You heard me. Brandon Cooks. I think about it. It's 45.5. Can Houston score 21 points? They scored 22 against the Rams in garbage time, right? A lot of that was garbage. A lot of that was
come on, yeah. The Rams
onside kicks. The Rams are definitely taking their foot off the pedal, right?
They took those guys off in the third quarter.
Yeah. They did. But I looked through Houston's games. They've had a number of games where they've eclipsed 20 points. So I think that'll be enough. So I got the over 45.5. Granted, very much looking like 24-21, but or 24-17, something like that. But I have them covering the 6. I have Miami covering the 6.5 too. So I'm hoping it's more points is a higher variance, higher
21.
Yeah, 28-21, something like that.
Could be.
Could be. Or Miami has had no problems moving the ball. They can't score in the red zone. That's their issue, which is a great way to lose games, right? Kicking field goals instead of scoring touchdowns is a great way to lose games in the NFL.
You guys do kick field goals? Yeah.
Yeah. Great way to lose games.
That's definitely the third game of the week.
It is. I think Flores is going to have to maybe do some adjusting like Bill Belichick, his mentor, has. I think on some of those fourth downs, particularly in the red zone, I think he's going to have to start going for those because the Dolphins kick field goals and lose games. That's what
Put it this way: if Brian Flores does not win this game, then he does not have job security.
I could see that. It would be unfortunate, but you can't
lose to this type of team.
You can't lose to this team at home. You can't lose to this team. Not at home.
At home.
That sends it back. And he won't have job security because I think the fan base will turn on him.
If he loses this game.
Yeah, if he loses this game. He still has fans backing him in Miami.
I think people know that there's like a weird thing going. Like this team isn't as bad.
They were 10-6 last year.
Yeah. It was a miss. But if he loses this game, he's in trouble.
He's in trouble. He's in trouble. So we've got Mike's favorite in line, possibly to start, Taysom Hill and New Orleans.
Is it going to be Simeon?
Well, I think Simeon is probably better than Taysom Hill because he's an actual quarterback, right? Like he can read a defense and again, very similar to the Cooper Rush and what Kellen Moore McCarthy did. Jameis gets hurt last week. Trevor Siemian comes in and like they actually like kind of sort of opened the playbook up even more, right? They started throwing deeper downfield.
Well, you have to manage. Sadly, Jameis has the potential with a big arm, but like he just doesn't make good decisions, right? So they clearly manage him.
No, he doesn't.
You clearly have to like manage his risk. That's a good word. Risk management of Jameis. Wow.
Simeon's a Northwestern guy. He's a smart guy.
I mean, listen, I think
mobile.
It's tough. Like the Saints now, Michael Thomas isn't coming back, right?
No, he's not.
Who's the best player in this game? Alvin Kamara.
Alvin Kamara is the best player in this game.
Atlanta is looking better, but like now you got weird shit.
The bad loss last week.
Like Calvin Ridley is not going to play because he's not in a right place mentally.
Yeah, mental health.
Like, again, my theory on the mental health thing.
Yes, we know you think.
There's a lot of people out there who want who are dying to be NFL receivers. Suck it up and get out there and play.
Wow.
Right?
No, don't say right. Know that Mike's views on mental health are not the If We Were Betting Men podcast views. Those are Mike's own personal views. We take mental health very seriously.
You are privileged because you are physically gifted. Correct?
Well, it's not like
there are people who are not physically gifted who want to be out there, who are trying desperately to be NFL players. Yeah. And you're like, I'm like, it's like Ben Simmons too with the Sixers. It's like, dude, like.
Well, Ben Simmons, I don't want to question anybody's mental health, but that seems like a Rich Paul, like, let's do whatever we have to do to continue getting
anyway,
paid, right?
Calvin Ridley is not playing. I think Kyle Pitts is good. I think Ryan is better quarterback.
Yeah.
But this is not a good Atlanta team. I think they're clearly going to have to rebuild starting next year. They're going to trade Ryan to someone kind of like a Matt Stafford kind of thing, but like not
to a level. To get over.
Like, some team's going to be like, Matt Ryan's our guy to get us over that hump. Maybe like a Dolphins or someone. I don't know. And
something then, like that. Yeah.
Matt Ryan's good, but this is a bad Atlanta team who lost to the Panthers last week.
That wasn't a good loss. That was a bad loss.
New Orleans got a little they got some momentum, right?
New Orleans has an identity, right? They're now deep.
Yeah, they've definitely pivoted from like Drew Brees, the gunslinger, to like let's just win games with like Alvin Kamara on our defense.
And the defense,
hey, you got to give it to New Orleans in the Dome at home. They got to beat this team by a touchdown. New Orleans is a legitimate playoff contender, right? They're going to win the NFC South.
New Orleans has a chance to be the 1 seed, the NFC. They got the tiebreaker on Tampa.
They're definitely not the best team in the NFC, but like
no, not at all.
They are. Yeah, they beat Tampa Bay last week, so
they did
in overtime.
Who else did New Orleans? They spanked somebody else early that they have the tiebreaker on.
Packers,
yeah, that's right.
So,
this actually lines up very favorably for New Orleans too, especially because they still have a second game against Carolina. I think this is their first game or second game against Atlanta.
New Orleans is good.
Yeah.
This is all the Saints. This is all Saints.
Yeah.
Low scoring game. These teams are not gonna. This is not a slinging it out game. This is a very like New Orleans has to win this game by like just keeping clock, winning, scoring touchdowns. Like Atlanta, they don't really have the firepower to like out offense the New Orleans Saints. Like this is under 42. I know that's a really low score, but like I just don't see them scoring either team. This could be like that 15-10 game like we saw last week. So I'm going to take the Saints at home, Saints money line under 42.
So, oops, sorry about that. I am with you on the Saints winning. My calculations have this spread at exactly 6, and the spread is 6. So, I mean, what am I picking? I don't know. So, I'm not going to pick the spread. And I actually have over 42 because I think 42 is just it's pretty. That's a pretty low number for a team with Atlanta does have some weapons, right? Even without Ridley, right? Kyle Pitts is a legit weapon, though he threw a dud up last week. And we're not talking about the guy who has in the trenches my fantasy team on a 4-game winning streak, Cordarrelle Patterson, who's apparently the running back and their number 2 wide receiver at the same time.
No comment.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to make of that. So I'm going to take New Orleans to win, and I'm going to take the over 42. Again, it's a divisional matchup, so it could go either way. We could either get the slobber knocker that you're talking about, or they crack the code on both defenses and we open it up. I actually think it's especially right to be open if Trevor Siemian is the quarterback. If it's Taysom Hill, I would take the under wholeheartedly.
I mean, Cordarrelle Patterson had 54 yards rushing and 13 yards receiving last week.
And a touchdown?
No touchdown.
No touchdown? You sure?
No. I'm looking at it. Oh, no, sorry. That's week 1. My bad.
Yeah.
He had 37 yards receiving, 35 yards rushing, and a touchdown.
Yeah.
Well, so he had that 3-touchdown game against Washington.
He did.
Since then, he's only had a touchdown. No, two.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like a good 80 and a touchdown.
Yeah, that's what he is. That's what he is. And it's not 80 and 1 anything. It's 40 rushing and 40 receiving. He's like their backup. He's like their backup running back and their number 2 wide receiver.
I mean, that's who you're rolling with as your fantasy guy.
That's who I'm rolling with, man. Cordarrelle's been my guy. Cordarrelle, it's one of those unorthodox, people look at the team and it's like, how are you doing this?
Scared to bet the spread. It's okay.
Michael Pittman. It's been Michael Pittman and Cordarrelle. That's who's been.
I actually had Michael Pittman on one of my teams.
Michael Pittman's pretty solid. He's their clear number one.
Oh, yeah.
Clear number one.
You're not betting this spread.
No, I'm not betting the spread. Literally, I did my calculations, and it comes out to New Orleans should win by 6.
Over
and it's
42.
a 6-point spread. And I'm going to take the over 42. Okay. That's under the assumption that Trevor Siemian is starting. Even though I know Taysom is practicing and he's just coming off a concussion. From what I saw last week with Trevor Siemian, they're comfortable with him, with the offense and throwing downfield. We know what we're going to get with Taysom Hill. We definitely know that. And it's not a wide open offense.
Yeah.
It's definitely you make one read, and if it's not there, you tuck it and run. So that's
apparently Taysom's going to play, though. He's on track.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is he going to play? Is he going to be under center? Is he going to do that Taysom Hill stuff? Because if he does the Taysom Hill stuff, I like the over even more because they have another red zone weapon. But if he's taking snaps, no, I've seen that guy play quarterback. I'm good on that now.
Fair enough. All right.
I'm good on that. If he starts, then your under looks very good because he's not an NFL quarterback, right? I think that's clear.
Is Trevor Siemian an NFL quarterback?
He is. We saw Trevor Siemian have success in Denver before he got hurt.
What's the definition of success?
4-4, 5-3, something like that.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, he's functional. You can tell he's functional because they didn't just shut down the playbook last week when Jameis got hurt. They actually opened it up a little bit more. I was like, they're throwing the ball downfield. They didn't even do that with Jameis.
Well, Jameis is not good.
Jameis will turn the ball over.
There's just he's not bad. He's just not good.
Here we go. The Vegas.
How dysfunctional. Vegas is having a great season, but this team is just absolute dysfunction.
They've lost their head coach and their number 1 wide receiver in the course of
dysfunction. Sad. Again, we don't.
Vegas is too big for them.
We don't need
Vegas apparently is too much.
We don't need to comment on Rugg situation.
It's sad. We'll probably talk about it at the end because we're
real sad.
We're coming up on the 4:00 games and the Monday night game. It's pretty sad though.
Sad.
We talked about it a little bit at the beginning. I'm not sure if we were live then or if it was before we started going live, but it's just sad.
Sad. New York Giants are pretty bad.
Yeah.
Is Saquon playing? I don't really know what his deal is, right?
Yeah, he had some COVID inconsistency, right?
I mean, I don't think he's playing, right?
I don't think he's playing either.
This week.
No. But he could be. We'll know
he has
better.
COVID protocol.
Yeah, we'll know better tomorrow, right? Because he tested positive. And then he tested negative, and then he tested positive again. So he now needs 2 more negative tests within a 24-hour span.
At least he has the vaccine. Anyway,
Yeah. Yeah.
Vegas is the better team, obviously.
They are.
Sterling Shepard, I think, is still out. I don't think.
Yeah, Giants are out.
They only have Kadarius Toney, but he's also a little banged up.
Uh-huh.
Daniel Jones is not really an elite quarterback.
No.
David Carr is also not an elite quarterback, but he's a good quarterback.
Derek Carr.
Jared Carr, whatever.
Yeah.
Derek, David. Anyway, Vegas has played through adversity. They are a playoff-bound team.
They are. Vegas is 5-2.
To go into like a bad place and play in New York, which is not going to be a tough place. I mean, hey, well, the Jets won last week, so who knows? But like, I don't know. This game has a little bit of upset kind of stewing. I'm still going to take Vegas. I just think the Giants are terrible.
And the number?
Over.
So I'm in accordance with you across the way here. I think the 3 is low. I'm imagining, what is it, just an emotional bet against the Raiders because Ruggs was driving 156 miles per hour in a residential neighborhood.
At like what, 3 in the morning?
At like 3 in the morning with like his girlfriend by his side, and he decelerated to 127 miles per hour before he hit the young woman who died. I don't know if it's like an emotional backlash, but Vegas is almost better than the Giants, like in every way. So, like literally almost every way. So, I'm guessing people are thinking the emotion of that drove the line down to 3. But I think the 3, Vegas to win, and Vegas with the 3. I think it's one of the easier decisions of the week. I also like the over here. The Giant, I have the Vegas has an opportunity to really be one of the better teams in the AFC because they can actually win running or like in a wide open shootout.
They have a good offense.
Yeah.
They have like Jacobs is obviously good, but Kenyon Drake is a very
it's very good. While fantasy wise, it hurts people. Like it actually
Waller hasn't been super elite.
He was hurt
games, but
he was hurt. He's been hurt, and they've been winning.
He still is good, and then
they've been winning.
Cooper. They don't have Ruggs, but they do have okay receivers.
Yeah, Edwards and Hunter Renfrow. Who is definitely settling into that Danny Amendola West.
I mean, listen, they have a good team. Derek Carr is not elite, but he's also not bad. He's kind of
not bad
now.
Yeah, it's actually this. Derek Carr is actually what Daniel Jones could maybe hope to ascend to be one day. You'll never be elite, but maybe you could not be bad, right? He's a better athlete than Derek Carr.
Almost leaning towards good this year.
Yeah, he's a better athlete than Derek Carr. He's smart, right? That's what they have going. That's going for him. But other than that, I don't know. So I like the over here too. It wouldn't trend that way because obviously Ruggs is out, and I think Ruggs is second in the NFL in yards per catch. I think he was almost averaging 20 yards a catch. But yeah, so even though obviously the West Coast traveling to East is tough, I know, but I'll take Vegas. I'll take Vegas to 3, Vegas to win, and the over 46.5, just like Mike. That's where I am. Now we're heading into.
There's only 3 afternoon games.
Yeah, there's only 3 afternoon games, right? Yeah, I know. They're 2 games shorter than we were last week. There are more teams that have buys.
Extra buys, yeah.
Yeah, I have a feeling we're going to differ here. And I'm okay with that because this is the game that forces me to stay like not a slave to my system, but like it forces me to stick to my guns, even accounting for a change that happened literally midweek, right? It's a midweek change.
I don't see the thing. What's the I mean, yeah, listen. It was obviously on the up. Big win against Arizona in Arizona. Was it in Arizona?
Yeah.
In Arizona. KC kind of eked out another win. The Giants. Kansas City, real garbage win. Kansas City's struggling. They are definitely struggling. Something is amiss. Like their defense is not elite. Though they did
It's the Super Bowl hangover, right?
They did just trade for Melvin Ingram, which is
good.
I'm
interested to see how that gave me pause. Like, I think that could help them.
Well, he's not elite anymore, but he's still good.
He's still good. I think Pittsburgh just really likes Highsmith, right? Highsmith has been ridiculous, and he's like younger and cheaper.
Green Bay with Jarrett Love or whatever the fuck.
Jordan Love.
No. Like, Green Bay wins because it's Aaron Rodgers. Let's just be frank. And Green Bay does have a weapon. Like, they do have weapons. Like, Aaron Jones is a very good running back. Maybe the defense can keep him in. I've been really trying to think and hope that Kansas City gets back on a winning streak again, and they are winning, but they're not quite there yet. Obviously, something is Patrick Mahomes is pressing, pressing, but they still have and
it's weird. Like, he has a lot of turnovers. Like, you go through the tape, it's most of these aren't his fault.
He seems to be pressing.
Yeah, he takes the crazy risks he's always taking, except they're resulting in turnovers now. Except it's like, that went through this guy's hands and hit the guy in the helmet. It's like,
I think he's definitely going to win this game. I don't think they're not going to win this game. I do think 7.5 is a lot, considering that, like you said, it's not like Green Bay is Aaron Rodgers hasn't been the Aaron Rodgers of the past years, meaning he's not single-handedly carrying this team.
Yeah.
Meaning you put in Jordan Love and run the ball with Aaron Jones and kind of let your defense and sort of ball control.
Yeah.
I think
Go ahead, Mike.
I like the
I know you're close, Mike.
I like the under 48. I like Kansas City to win.
You're close, Mike.
You know what? I think something's wrong in KC. KC has the 3 best players in this game. They have
they do.
Mahomes, they have Travis Kelce, and then they have
you can maybe argue 4 if you were to look at the Honey Badger too.
They have Tyreek Hill. So well, Aaron Jones is probably I don't know. You can't really compare him and Honey Badger. But anyway, I want to say KC. 7.5 is a lot. By the half point, give me the Chiefs at home.
Oh, wow. This guy stays true to betting on the Chiefs, huh? Waiting for that. You're waiting for that Chiefs spark and for them to go on a run. I'll tell you this much. Pretty good fortune here, right? I don't think any of us saw this. I thought Aaron Rodgers was California's super liberal. Of course I'm going to be vaccinated. I care about the world. This guy is I'm super duper liberal, apparently. He's like a hippie. It's I took a homemade cure. It's wait, what? So in going through this game, Mike, going through this game and, the system that I had, so I had Kansas City having an advantage at the quarterback position anyway, because Mahomes' numbers have been a little bit better than Rodgers. Your analysis, by the way, was spot on, Mike. Green Bay is not really quarterback driven anymore. They kind of sort of run the ball and play defense. And they want the quarterback to make plays at the end. Not that Rodgers isn't important, but it's not like a Rodgers-centered offense. What else changes other than that, right? So Green Bay's better at running the ball and stopping the run. Green Bay is a better defense. Green Bay doesn't turn the ball over nearly as much, and Green Bay is better in close games. So not only am I going to take Green Bay to cover the spread, I'm going to take Green Bay to win the game. I think Green Bay wins the game.
I think it's tough to play in Kansas City, though.
Huh?
It's tough to go play at Kansas City.
Yeah, ask the Giants. The Giants were winning 17-14 with 5 minutes left. I just don't think it's the same Kansas City team.
I agree. I don't know. This one's a tough game.
I thought you were close. The analysis you were given was literally the thinking I had the entire time. And I was like, is he going to take what? Is he going to steal my shine and take take Green Bay? This game, Green Bay was favored in Kansas City. And I don't know of any NFL player in history that's worth 10 points. Normally it's a touchdown. This just feels like the public supremely overreacted to Rodgers being out. So I'm going to take Green Bay plus 7.5. I'm going to take Green Bay to win.
It's probably the better bet, to be honest.
Huh?
It is probably the better bet to take plus 280 versus
Yeah, Green Bay. And then did you have the over or the under too?
under 48.
I like the under more. I probably should. This is where I probably should abandon the model and go with the fact that Jordan Love is starting, and they're probably going to try to protect him even more by just running the ball and punting and playing defense. But Jordan Love may show us something. I think Green Bay's weapons, all three of their top receivers are back, right? Devontae's back.
I think they are, yeah.
Valdez Scantling is back, and Lazard are back, right? By the way, they were testing positive for vaccine. Did Aaron Rodgers give them COVID?
Well, now you can maybe lead that. One leads to the other. One leads down that road.
Right? Like it doesn't that was really disappointing.
I mean, you could make the argument there might be a correlation between that.
There's definitely a correlation for sure. Yeah, so I think the public serenely overreacted. I actually think the 7.5 is, and of course, Jordan Love could throw 3 or 4 picks and then like this be a moot point. But I don't know if Kansas City's defense is built like that. Their front seven is pretty soft, and the safety. Who's the white safety that everybody picks on? Sorensen. That guy gets burned every week. You got a long catch from John Ross last week, right? Where he was just there and like just watched him catch it, like right in front of him. You were like, "What are you doing?" Like you were right there. He like couldn't make a play. He like watched him literally drop in Ross's arms, and then he tackled him. It was remarkable.
Yeah.
So we're different across the board there. So we'll see that's probably the most interesting game of the week as far as the ones that we're picking, only because of the variance and all of the factors that happen.
Yep.
Here's we've got 3 more, and then we'll have opportunity to
4 more. Chargers.
4 more. No, 3 more. Chargers, Arizona. No, you're right. 4 more. You're right.
Night games.
Yeah, night games.
What's the next one? Chargers?
Chargers is the next one. Correct.
Chargers are not as good as people thought they were.
No, they aren't. No, they aren't. They can't run the ball.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't. I mean, I don't think Austin Eckler. They got to figure out something.
Yeah, they're like a team that's built to be like, okay, we win with defense, running the ball. We've got a quarterback that can make plays.
Right? Lions.
Yeah. We've got a quarterback that can make plays, right? You can tell like that's what their DNA is. Almost kind of sort of like what Green Bay is now, right? Like
yeah, I mean, the Philadelphia Eagles figured out if we just run the ball, we can win.
Right?
The Lions are bad though.
The Lions are bad.
This is a real turd game too, in my opinion. But
the Lions are bad.
I love Jalen Hurts. He had a bad week fantasy-wise last week, but I love Jalen Hurts in fantasy. That guy just puts up points.
They love it. Everybody, all of Jalen Hurts fantasy owners love that guy.
Yeah, but he's not a winner. Let's go with the better quarterback. I think Herbert is the better quarterback. I think this is a pick'em game, right? I think, it's harder to play in Philly, but I don't think this is like the same Philly teams as before. There's no like, it's going to be hard to win there. Like, this is not a good Eagles team. Like, they don't really have an identity still. I think Nick Sirianni is overmatched as a coach.
He is.
I think the coach for the Chargers is definitely a wild card with his.
Yes, he is.
But I think
he's definitely a wild.
I think he has more fundamentally better quality than Sirianni. So
yeah.
I just think the Chargers are better, right? Like you have better guys on the defense on the Chargers, Bosa and, what's his name? The safety.
Derwin James.
Yeah. And then better offensive guys, right? Like Mike Williams and
Keenan Allen
and Herbert. So gotta say, I don't see, but maybe Philly is just better fundamental. I don't know. I just think this is screaming Chargers, even though this is not, it's a pickup. So I'll just take the Chargers in the over.
Yeah. I wanted to pick the over, but all the numbers say not to. They say 50 is too high. So I have the under in this game.
47.5. Oh, it's 50. Okay.
It's 50. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it
If it was
47 and a half.
47.5, I'd definitely take the over. I think I ended up landing at like 49.2 or
Can I
something like
change
that.
that then? I thought it was 47 and a half. My bad.
Yeah, I ended up landing at like 49.2 or
I'm
something.
going to take
like
the
that.
under then. My bad. I thought it was 47.
Yeah.
Chargers across the board under 50. It's like a
Okay.
24-17 game.
Yeah. That's what I have also. But similar to your Kansas City analysis, something is amiss with the Chargers. They got blown out in Baltimore. Then you had a New England team traveling all the way across the country who was easily outmanned. And like they were never really out of that game and took it at the end. Philly's a tough place to play. They're traveling from west to east. Granted, it's not a 1 o'clock game. It's 4:25, so it's a little bit better. This game is a pick 'em for a reason. And as I look at it, the difference are turnovers. The Chargers turn the ball over a lot. A lot. They have the better turnover margin, but they actually put themselves in jeopardy more than Philadelphia does. I also like Philly running the ball, stopping the run. Philly's actually been in closer games, and they win closer games. The only real advantage the Chargers have in this game, at least according to my system, is the quarterback. And even there, like Jalen has been putting up yards-wise very similar numbers to Herbert. So I'm going to take Philly at home. I'm going to take the home underdog. I'll take Philly plus the 1. I'll take Philly to win. And I'm under 50 also.
It is a pick 'em, so
it's a pick 'em.
Pick away.
It's a pick 'em.
Pick away.
3 more. Another interdivision kind of a scrum here. This has some variance too, right? Because how healthy is Kyler Murray? That is one of them. That loss was one of the most bizarre losses I've seen them have. Like literally, like we practiced that, right? 2-minute drill at the end of the game, signals and things like that. Like literally, like you practice that. Like that's what.
Like, why didn't AJ Green just turn around?
Why didn't he turn around? And like nobody will answer the question. like they're like, yeah, you'll have to talk with him about that. And it's like he's like not making himself available to the public. So it's like, what happened?
I mean, this is oddly a pick 'em.
It's oddly a pick 'em. It is.
Because I don't think they know if Kyler's playing or not, right?
He said he was.
That doesn't mean he's playing.
It's tough to
play. It's a divisional game. It's tough to play in San Francisco. They are not horrible. They're not good. Garoppolo sucks. Arizona had a tough loss. They still could be undefeated. Half decent Kyler Murray is still the best player in the game.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, like Arizona had a little bump, but they still are on a roll. So, like, let's take the Cards on the road.
Yep. The number?
Under 46. 20. Arizona's about scoring, right? They're not. Well,
they are
with defense too.
Yeah, they are.
I think it's just an over. I could see these guys trying to put up points.
They were an AJ Green turnaround from being. That ball was perfect, by the way. That was like a perfect back shoulder throw. Also, like if he had turned around, he'd have been in front of the corner. Would have been a touchdown. And that Kyler Murray looks like a hero. And they're 8-0. I'm with you across the board. I like Arizona in the pick'em. It sounds like you went through that in your head, like it's exactly what it is. Like I don't know about Garoppolo. I think Arizona definitely hit a bump in the road. Like even if Kyler's 75% or whatever, he's the best. Kyler's 75%, maybe the second best player of the game behind Nick Bosa. But if he's at 80 or up, he's the best player, right?
Yep.
San Francisco's been underwhelming, though they did beat the Bears last week, which I don't even know what that means.
Yeah.
I have no idea what that means.
No idea.
So in a pick'em, I'll take Arizona to win, and I'll take the over also. 46 is not a lot for a team like Arizona. Mm-hmm. And surprisingly, the 49ers have actually been putting up points with Elijah Mitchell, Deebo Samuels, and
Deebo Samuels, I think, is like the best receiver in the game this year. I don't know, one of my fantasy teams. That guy puts up
He puts up numbers
sometimes, but
yeah.
Brandon
Ayuk, and also Kittle is coming back this week too.
You're like, this guy puts up.
Yeah, Kittle's coming back this week too. Although as far as best receiver in the game, I'm getting a call. DeAndre Hopkins is on line 1 for you, and he said he wants you to look at his career resume. He says he's better than Deebo Samuel. That's what
this year. Deebo Samuel is really good.
Yeah, and DeAndre Hopkins hasn't been that good. That's true. Arizona kind of spreads it around.
Yeah, Kyler
Murray's going to have like 13 rushing touchdowns or something like that, which boosts his MVP candidacy. Even though, by the way, it's been amazing what's been happening in Vegas as far as the NFL MVP is concerned. It's hopped the last 3 weeks. Three weeks ago, it was Josh Allen. Then it went from Josh Allen to Kyler Murray, and now it's gone from Kyler Murray to Matthew Stafford. So the MVP race is pretty interesting. We'll see where it ends up. Our next one, the Sunday night game, and it's actually our cover game. This was our game of the week, though it lost a little bit of luster with the Derrick Henry injury. But this was this would have been the best game of the week.
For sure. That's
Tennessee at the Rams, but now there's no Derrick Henry, and it's
I mean, listen, Derrick Henry is obviously the best player.
Yeah, he's the best running back in the NFL.
Yeah. Losing him for the season is rough.
Yes, it is.
I think if they had him, they could have made this a game.
Yes.
I think without him, this is not a game.
The spread jumped. It jumped like 3, some places 4 points, right?
Yeah, I mean, listen, the Rams are they had that kind of bad loss. Not bad. They lost to the Cardinals. They've been on the roll since. It's in LA. They're playing well. They just got Von Miller. Tennessee is going to roll with J.D. McKissick or some shit, and
Jeremy McNichol.
They
signed all day Adrian Peterson, still in the league.
Good luck. I don't see how Tennessee can win this game. So Rams are definitely going to win.
Neither do I.
Under 53. It's 53 and a half is a lot of points. So
it is.
I think under 53 and a half is probably the route to take, not over. I think the Rams are just going to – this is one of those games you're like, everyone thinks the Titans are going to get bitched.
Yeah, right.
And I don't think they are. But I don't know. You got to take the Rams. If it's by the half point, secure the touchdown.
Yeah. So, again, this is not another one of those ones where in the formula that I use, like it turns out that it literally had 7.5 points. So who am I betting on? So I'm betting on no one. So I'm not going to bet the spread on this. I do like the Rams to win. I also like the under 53.5. 53.5 is a lot of points. A lot of points. I think they may be basing it on possibly the Tannehill turnover / I guess what Vrabel said, like they kind of sort of have to transition to a passing team now. The problem with that is, I mean, I love A.J. Brown. He's one of the best receivers in the game, but, I mean, Jalen Ramsey's just on another level. Like, I mean, we talk about Aaron Donald, but Jalen Ramsey is literally consistently every year like a defensive player of the year candidate for just what he does. And they're able to use him to not only shut off – it's at one point it's shutting down individual receivers. He's on that, like, Dion level now where he's taking away a side of the field passing. So, like, that's tough. With the pass rush that they have, it kind of sort of masks their middling linebackers. You asked the right question. I don't know the answer. I don't see how does Tennessee win this game. Like, what does a Tennessee win look like? Is the Rams' offense going to falter? Not against the weak Tennessee secondary. Is Tennessee just going to, I don't know, like open it up in a shootout? I guess, but that will require passing, and they have an elite pass rush and elite secondary. I don't understand. I don't see it. So, again, the only reason why I'm not taking the Rams minus 7.5 because, like I said, my calculations literally have this line at 7.5. So, rather than I'd be picking against myself either way. So no line, but I definitely have the Rams to win the minus 350 and the under 53.5. And then our last one, right? The old Monday night game.
This is like one of the worst Monday night games.
As a Ravens fan, I'm worried that like Pittsburgh is like a quiet underdog that's like kind of sort of gaining momentum.
Yes. Right? I mean, I don't think
no one takes Pittsburgh seriously. And
I mean, like I think people are like, Big Ben sucks. He's old.
Yeah.
They don't really have Najee Harris is kind of picking up steam, which I think is why they're looking better the last few weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, they lost to the Packers. They beat the Broncos. They've beaten the Seahawks, close games. All their games are like oddly close.
Yeah.
They lost to the Packers by 10, but like Broncos, they won by 8.
Yeah.
Steelers beat the Seahawks in overtime. They won last week 15-10. So they're not like crushing people.
No, they aren't.
They lost to the Raiders. They beat the Bills. They lost to the Bengals.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, first of all, let's just get this out of the way. The Bears are bad.
Yeah. I have 2 quarterback metrics that I use: yards per attempt and TD percentage, TDs per attempt, basically. And the 32nd quarter, the last ranked starter in both of those is Justin Fields.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's not in a good position. They don't have any. I mean, I don't know why they did not trade Allen Robinson.
Yeah, I don't get that. Right?
They don't have weapons. It's like Howard's out for the year, right? So they just don't have anything. They have nothing. And coupled on top of that, bad coaching. So, yes, the Steelers are Montgomery.
Yeah, so back. Jordan Howard's actually back on the Eagles.
Not Howard.
He's on the Eagles practice squad. Now he's starting now. David Montgomery is their running back.
Sorry, my bad.
And then they were going with Montgomery and Tariq Cohen, who both are out for the year.
Yeah. Sorry, my bad. David Montgomery.
That's all good.
Sorry. Actually, no, they said he is going to return from the IR in weeks. Anyway, he's injured now.
Yeah.
He's going to return, they said. But
okay. Do they want him to?
Yeah, exactly. I just think Pittsburgh is not good, but this is a hard place. This is a hard place for a rookie quarterback to play, a bad team to play on a primetime game.
Fucking towels are going to be waved around and shit like that.
I don't dislike Justin Fields. I want to see the guy. I watched QB1. I got a thing. I like the guy, but no, this is not the place to win for the quarterback.
Not at all.
Team. So you got to take the Steelers across the board.
Yeah.
And I mean, the Steelers like to win ugly, so under 40 is not 20.
What about the 6.5?
23-10.
All right.
Pittsburgh 6.5. Yeah, Pittsburgh going to cover. Touchdown Pittsburgh for sure. I think the Bears are just bad.
So I've been burned betting on the Bears because the Bears have been touchdown underdogs or more in virtually a bunch of their games. I just don't see Pittsburgh for the reasons that you elucidated. 6.5, that's a touchdown, right? Pittsburgh doesn't really win. They win games by less than touchdowns, right? That's how they get down. I'm with you on the under. Both of these teams average. The points scored and the points against for both teams are under 40. So it's having this game go under 40 that would just be the norm for both teams from a week to week basis. So I think it's definitely under 40. Pittsburgh definitely wins the game. 6.5, I don't know. I see this could be 23-17, right? Something like that. 21-17, something like that. I don't think Pittsburgh is going to reinvent the wheel or dominate anybody just because while Justin Fields is 32nd in both of those metrics. You know who's in the bottom 5 in both? Ben Roethlisberger. Yeah, he's pretty bad. He's been pretty bad this year. So I don't see – as long as Fields can limit the turnovers, I think they can keep it close. So for that reason, I'm going to take Chicago plus 6.5. I'm going to take Pittsburgh to win. And I'm going to take the under 40. All right. So those are our picks for the week. Normally, Mike and I try to keep it an hour and a half, but we're going to go a little longer this week. We'll probably go hour 45. We got about 17 minutes left because, as we said at the beginning of this, a lot of stupidity, a lot of just head-scratching decision-making.
Yeah.
That's that makes you go, wow, like why would you ever do that? We actually covered Ruggs in my econ class when talking about scarcity and opportunity costs and incentives with behavioral economics. Like he had absolutely no reason to do what he did. Like there's nothing in sound decision making says do what Henry Ruggs did. Like, was there a scarcity of transportation in Las Vegas at 3 a.m.? There wasn't. The Raiders provide transportation. Uber, Lyft, those things exist, so there was no scarcity, right? What is the opportunity cost of getting behind the wheel of a car drunk, right? What are you giving up? Well, I'm giving up the opportunity to keep my job and my freedom. Those are probably things that you want to have, right? Right? You probably want to continue that gravy train. What is the incentive for driving drunk at 3 a.m. in a residential neighborhood? I can't think of one other than the thrill of being in a Corvette, which he was, going 165, I guess, in a street that he thought was was not inhabited. That's the only incentive I can think of. Otherwise, there isn't one. And maybe it's because I'm not 22 and a millionaire and living in Vegas. Because I have the benefit of hindsight, because between you and I, Mike and I, and the rest of the people in this podcast, I've gotten behind the wheel of a car intoxicated before. It happens.
Yes.
But I would be the first to say it's not smart. It's not.
Yes, there's no argument to defend DUI, drunk driving.
No.
Let's take a step back. There's no argument to defend drunk driving, period.
Yeah.
Have we done it? Yes.
Yeah.
Am I proud of it? No.
No.
Will I try to avoid it? Sure.
Yeah.
But, these guys, like, this is what baffles me. And maybe it's just because people aren't going to listen to people. Like, teams should just provide, like, the cost risk analysis of this for a team to have a on-call driving fleet of people. Or, I mean, maybe you can't designate 53 drivers for your 53-man roster. But, you would think you could identify, like, hey, like, Henry, like, here's your driver. Or, like, all the Josh Brown DUIs and, the receiver. What's his name? The guy who's always, like, on drugs and fucking.
Josh Gordon,
Josh Gordon. Like, here's your guy. Like, this guy drives you.
Yeah, you identify the high risk guys. And it's hey, man.
Then you have to realize these guys are, by nature, prima donnas, right?
They also have
overly egotistical super athletes that
you almost have to have an irrational confidence to be in that top 1/10%.
Yeah. So are they going to listen? No, clearly not. So we simply as simpletons can say, like, hey, like, why don't you just have a driver designated?
Yeah. But they're not built that way.
So,
they're not built that way, which is probably why they're elite athletes, right? They're not built that way to be like, this is
being told what to do. So another example. So, like, sadly, there's consequences, and the consequences are
someone died, young woman died. That's sad.
This guy's never going to play in the NFL ever again.
Yeah, Mike and I were talking about it. Also, Henry Ruggs comes from really, really adverse circumstances, and like he made it. Like he lifted his whole family, like generous, like out of poverty, and now like that's done, that's gone. Like it's really sad.
I mean, it's just bad.
Period. It's bad. So that's, I guess we'll see what happens, but they're gonna look to make an example out of him too, because he's a professional athlete. There was a loaded gun in the car. He's a Raider, and he's Las Vegas.
There's not even an argument, right? This guy.
Yeah, they're gonna make an example out of him. It's gonna be bad.
So
yeah.
Anyway, sad.
Yeah, that was one. Odell Beckham. Yeah, Odell Beckham was in New York City, the toast of the town. I guess he was upset that Eli Manning was getting more shine than him or something like that. What was OBJ's beef in New York? It was towards the tail end of Eli. Was it the Eli?
I actually don't know why he was. I mean, OBJ is now categorized as a malcontent. No offense, but he literally is a malcontent. Like he is not a team guy. He is not a team player. He's
that's what it looks like.
I mean, I wouldn't say he's a cancer, but he is a distraction.
That's what it looks like.
He's definitely a distraction.
And
he's not becoming Antonio Brown.
They were talking to Malika Andrews, and she was like, "Yeah." They're like, "Oh, you're plugged into the NFL." Like they were like, "What's the word on OBJ?" And she was like, "Yeah." Like front office and coaches are like, "Yeah, he's a good player." That's fucking remarkable. OBJ was like the guy 4 years ago, and now teams are like,
I mean,
all right.
I think some injuries have kind of sapped him of a little bit of elite talent.
Yeah.
I think he's still really good.
Yeah.
I think
it's really bad tape out there, though. Really
silly bad. that the Browns are going down this road because the Browns are competing for
Why didn't they trade him?
And literally could use all the help they can get, considering how many injuries they've had and everything else. So, there has to be some other, this guy is such a distraction.
Yeah.
That it's not even worth our time to keep him on the squad.
There's a lot of TO here. There's a lot of he's obviously not the media public distraction that TO was, but that no matter what OBJ does that's detrimental to the team, there's still going to be people on the team that fuck with OBJ because he's so talented, right? So it ends up being
I don't think OBJ's NFL career is done.
No. I'm saying as far as in Cleveland, the locker room, that dynamic that you were talking about.
They're probably going to reach more of an accord than cutting this guy.
Yeah.
But who knows?
They don't want to cut him. They're going to be on the hook for a salary if they cut him.
I think they're going to cut him.
They're trying to work out a deal right now. I don't think they want to pay all the money.
But how are they going to trade him? They can't trade him.
They can't trade him.
So
they got to work out some sort of deal.
If you're Cleveland, you cut OBJ or whatever, he's off the team. Let's just say he's gone, whatever circumstance that is. Do you want to play OBJ if he's on the Ravens?
No.
Do you want to play OBJ?
Yeah, not at all. There are a lot of teams.
Chargers? Not the
Chargers. Ravens, the Saints, the Chiefs. Yeah, a lot of teams. Yeah.
If OBJ gets cut, Baltimore has $11 million on salary cap. You better fucking hell call that guy.
Yeah.
The Saints, who don't have Michael Thomas this year, better call that guy immediately.
Yeah. And part of the Chiefs' issue is that they don't have a number 2 receiver, right? The Chiefs are actually missing Sammy Watkins, if you can believe it or not.
What if he goes to the Buccaneers?
Yeah. Right?
Those
the Rams
can handle those guys, right?
The Rams are missing.
Can handle malcontents.
If you can say the one weakness in the Rams is that they don't really have a deep threat, right? They don't have a downfield
this guy
threat.
Has options. So
man.
trying to fight for a playoff spot.
Yeah.
You're literally just feeding bullets to your competitors.
Yes, you are. Which is why they don't want to just they'd have been better off trading him and picking the destination.
But they can't trade him, right? There's no way
they can trade him now. Trade deadline's passed. They don't want to cut him because they don't want to be on the hook for his salary if he clears waivers, and he won't clear waivers. Some team is going to claim him. So
I mean, it's just a weird.
To your point, not only would they be feeding him to a competitor, they'd be feeding him to a competitor and paying his salary while doing so. That would be so. Yeah, they don't want to cut him.
Giving your enemy bullets.
Exactly. Exactly.
Weird analogy, but it's a good one if you think about it. Not we live in a PC world. Sorry.
Yeah.
But you are literally
not only you feeding him bullets by the fact you're paying his salary, you're giving your enemy the gun and the bullets, right? It's like you don't even have to come up with it. Like, we got it.
Yeah. I mean, listen, is it bad that his dad is talking shit? Of course it is. It's horrible. It's not good. Is Baker Mayfield elite? No. But Baker handled it well. He's like, I'm cool with the dude. I don't know.
GM of Cleveland Browns, Michael Shue. Are you extending Baker Mayfield? Is he your guy?
No.
I don't think he
is. Matt Ryan.
Nah. I think Kevin Stefanski is not a Baker Mayfield guy.
Trade for anyone.
Yeah.
Serviceable veteran quarterback to be a quarterback.
Yeah.
Trade for Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan would work.
Trade for Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan would work. He loved that offense. It's like the Shanahan offense, right? Like, that's what they're looking to do.
I mean, sadly, Baker Mayfield, again, I don't think Baker is necessarily horrible. I don't think he's an elite quarterback. He definitely is a starting quarterback circumstances have pitted
Is
themselves.
he top 15 or bottom 15?
He's like right at 15.
Nah.
I think he's been a victim of poor circumstances, bad coaching shifts, injuries. You know, it's tough, right? Like, you know, sometimes there's some variables you don't control, but it's kind of like Darnold, right? I don't think Darnold is horrendous. He's also been kind of a victim of just poor circumstances and bad variables. So, like, but that's just the nature of life. So, like, hey, you gotta
make do with the circumstances that you're given. Right?
So, unfortunately, you know, Baker's not going to be. I would not sign Baker.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to. I don't think Baker's not Stefanski's guy, right? He probably wants his own.
I mean, he's just. But like, if you're the Browns, it's not like you got to restart with a rookie quarterback.
No, you don't.
Oh, no.
Especially this class. This is a weak quarterback class.
You go for a veteran and like.
Yeah, I think you go for a veteran.
And then the third question is, what is wrong with Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, that was bad. This is like a legacy tarnishing thing because now all those whispers and stuff about him being a diva and a prima donna that you could dismiss, you would assume would be true just because, you know, he's super famous, super rich quarterback, but you didn't know. This is the first like kind of sort of chink in the armor where it's like, this guy's a fucking jagoff, right? Like you said, like, he was straight up asked, like, you've been vaccinated. He's like, I've been immunized. It's like, what does that mean?
I love how we just assumed that meant vax.
Yeah, I think we all did, right?
Yeah, I mean,
he's a smart guy. Like,
I literally lied about being vaccinated. Like,
yeah.
I mean,
to your point earlier on, like, legit, it's why you want to play in Green Bay instead of New York or LA, right? If it's New York or LA media, the natural follow-up is, what does that mean, right? In Green Bay, it's like, see, he said he was immunized. He's been vaccinated. Like, that's what it is, right? It's not like Aaron Rodgers has to take questions from the national media. It's not like he has to take questions from media in a big city, right? It's Green Bay, right? And then, of course, in this era that we're in, he has the opportunity to use media outlets of his own choosing to get his message out, right? He likes Pat McAfee and AJ Hawk, right? Former teammates, right? That have a popular podcast, right? So that's pretty much who he responds to. But yeah, that guy fucking lied to us, man. That's tough.
Yeah. He definitely will be fine, though, because the Packers are trying to win a playoff /
They are.
And like in 10 days or 14 days or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, I think these 10 days are going to be rough for him media-wise, though. I think they're going to go after him.
Probably, but we live in a short attention span world.
Yeah, we do.
The Packers are in the playoffs and trying to win a Super Bowl. Like, who cares? So, like, is it sad? Yeah, I think I personally have lost respect for.
I think a lot of people have.
Again, like, kind of just own that. Don't.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Kyrie is an idiot, but at least
Mike and I have been clear where we stand on the vaccine. Right, we're clear. But I actually kind of have more respect for like Cousins and like Carson Wentz and even Lamar, who are like, no, I'm not vaccinated. I'm like, we can be like, that's a stupid decision, but you didn't lie to us though. Like Aaron Rodgers, like, was trying to like be like, yeah, like I'm the perfect example. Like I'm vaccinated, but I still respect like, those who aren't. It's like, no, you're not vaccinated. Like you tried to lead us to believe that you were, but you're not. And you're like maskless everywhere. You're like a super spreader.
Like a Halloween party over
there? Yes. Dude, he takes all of his press conferences maskless. And it was okay because we all wanted to be vaccinated.
Press conferences with masks on or no?
Huh?
What does Lamar do?
Lamar has a mask on.
I don't know. I haven't
seen
him.
Lamar has a mask on. Yeah.
Lamar's also gotten COVID twice in 8 months.
Lamar's gotten COVID twice. Yeah, I don't. We've been over this. Obviously, you guys know Mike and I have been over this. It doesn't make any sense, but like it's.
We're playing a numbers game here. Like, there's no solution, but you.
Exactly. People are like
rules.
I'm hearing people like, oh, there's nothing we can do. You just got to hope for the best. And I'm like, well, like there is something we can do. Like it's not like it's like Memphis. It's like you can say you don't want to do it, but there is something that can be done. Probably speaking for Mike here too. Excited that the Astros lost. Good. In spectacular fashion, actually. Yeah.
I was happy. I am not a Braves fan at all.
No.
I actually probably couldn't even name more than 3 or 4 players on the Braves.
Yeah.
But I am happy to see Houston lose.
Yeah.
Houston's going to fall apart. They're not going to sign guys. Yeah. And that team of cheaters is done.
Yep. Correa, Brantley, they probably won't be able to re-sign them. Cheaters. Bregman's declining, right? Early. Probably because he's not cheating anymore, right? He hasn't been the same player, right?
I am happy to see Houston lose.
They're cheaters.
The Braves.
The only person I feel bad for is Dusty. This was Dusty's chance, right? 20 years after the Russ Ortiz debacle, right? This was his chance to win, but I'm much happier that the Astros didn't win.
Coaching a bunch of cheaters.
Yeah. They're like we need to get. It's a good PR play by the Astros, right? You get the no nonsense old school baseball guy or whatever who's dealt with, controversy with the bonds and the steroid stuff, right? So he definitely was able to maneuver them through this, but in the end, they're still cheaters, and they didn't win. It makes me very happy.
Very happy. Cheaters.
Ecstatic. Very ecstatic.
Baseball itself has become a bad product. Not a bad. Yeah, it's a bad product.
It's a bad product. What they have is their consumer base is it's pretty static, right? It's 53 and over, overwhelmingly white and family oriented, right? So as long as those people exist, like baseball will have a market, right? You go to baseball games now, even the one we went to, Mike and I went to Tampa Bay and Baltimore earlier this year. It was in the afternoon, a lot of kids, families. It's like that kind of thing now. Like baseball games aren't like an event to go to if you're like younger than 55. Right?
What an event is to go to. I went on Friday to a New York Rangers game. Hockey Live. Also not the biggest hockey fan, but I will give it to you. Hockey Live is very exciting.
Yeah. Hockey Live, they're going after one another.
The guys are massive.
Yeah.
I was on the 100 level at the MSG, so pretty good seats. Like, I listen, I don't know much about hockey. I actually thought Henry Lundqvist was still the goalie on the Rangers. Really not. Like, that's how
he retired.
But like
Henrik Lundqvist knocked down models 2 at a time. Yeah, that's how they got.
Then, like they were playing the Blue Jackets, and I literally couldn't name a single player on the Blue Jackets either. Yeah. But like, let me tell you,
why is there a hockey team in Columbus?
I don't know. Live hockey is fascinating, and I'm not going to pick up and like TV hockey is not even comparable.
Yeah, it's not a good product for TV. Yeah, and they tried to make changes with it, right? With lighting up the puck.
Yeah, it's just not.
And they changed the rules.
Like,
it's not a TV game.
Here, the ice and like you don't understand. These guys are huge. They're not like little guys. They're like 5, like fast. They hit hard. Like and it was sold out. So like it's good to see like you had to show your vax at Memphis.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you're foolproof, but like, hey, so it's good to see live events happen again.
And I know we belabored this point and I don't want to continue it, but just generally, right? If New York, LA, and San Francisco are requiring you to be vaccinated, like why the fuck wouldn't everybody else just fall in line? It's like not when outside of this country, like if you're a foreigner, those are probably the only 3 places you really want to go to here. Like, I don't understand why other places wouldn't be like, hey,
literally 20% of the fire department is out of a job in New York because they don't want to get.
So I saw that it's deceptive, right? They called out, right? Nobody's quit yet, though. Like they're like,
because these guys are actually vaccinated, but they don't want to admit that
they don't want to admit that. Yeah, it was like, they don't want to admit that.
In certain regions, like I know some people in Staten Island, I'm not making fun of it, but there are certain pockets of New York City where apparently it's not cool to be vaxxed.
Like
your neighbors look down on
you. You don't want to say that you are.
You're like ostracized for being vaccinated. for being vaccinated.
Yeah. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Like, the stupidity
it doesn't at all.
The stupidity of the real world, the stupidity of the athletes, professional sports world, it's just insanity at times. I mean, I obviously, and I know I express some old school mentalities, and sometimes I'm more on the less PC side of things.
We're old.
But for God's sakes, man, like this world now is just
we're old.
Sorry.
This is what change looks like.
I'm going to leave it at this. What the fuck, right? Like,
this is what change looks
like.
Not
Henry Ruggs. That's sad. I don't want to comment on that. But like, Aaron Rodgers, Kyrie Irving, New York City Fire Department.
We don't want to be told what to do. They don't want to be told what to do. So
ended on that. What WTF for all those groups?
We'll sacrifice
You're turning down hundreds of millions of dollars. You're turning down the opportunity to win a Super Bowl. You're turning down job security.
Yeah. It's going to be a moot point anyway very soon because if these numbers don't go down, in order to travel, you're going to have to be vaxxed. So
well, apparently, certain places, the numbers aren't going down.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's good. I hope they do go down. I mean, I don't want to have to
they are. So I think in New York, the numbers are going down. I've actually heard that the numbers are not going down in some places.
Wow. Yeah, I know California is one of the lowest rates.
Is it not going?
I know New York, the numbers are going down. That should probably tell people something in and of itself. But I think a lot of people are still convincing themselves.
Oh, it was Portland. I was talking to a guy in Oregon.
Yeah.
Weird mix of Republican and Democrat.
Yes.
I think he was apparently saying that apparently the numbers are not going down.
Yeah, a lot of Oregon generally has a lot of the sovereign citizens, right? They don't feel that the laws of the United States like apply to them. They're like a free.
Well, then there's like Portland, which is like super liberal. So super anyway,
there's like Oregon.
I think I do agree with you. I think the trend is, listen, people are out. I've been going out.
People are out, man.
I've gone to bars and restaurants and sporting events, and like people are out. Like I think there's definitely like I'm tired of this shit. I'm just sitting at home. Like I want to go out. If you show your vax card, you can go out.
Yeah, I was in like and honestly, like I feel safer if everybody was there. I was in San Francisco. It was like, show your vax card, and I was like, oh, like everybody in here is vaccinated. That doesn't mean I can't get it, but I feel safer, right? And the numbers say I am safer. So, like,
I mean, listen, I know someone who got COVID last week, and they're fully vaccinated.
Yeah, it can happen. Breakthrough cases are real.
Yeah, it is not 100% foolproof.
No.
At the same time, like let's be smart here.
Yeah, exactly.
Society.
You know, I know somebody who got hurt in a car accident where they were wearing a seatbelt. Like it happens. Like, you still get hurt, but it's probably better than not wearing a seatbelt.
I knew a guy who broke his leg playing kickball. Like
it happens.
Shit happens, right?
What do you think about we got like 9 minutes left. What do you think about the college football rankings? Did you get a chance to check them out?
I did. So obviously Georgia's real good.
Fair. I don't know if they are.
Well,
they have a good defense. You see their offense?
The rest of their schedule is garbage, so they're not.
Yeah, and their offense is like 63rd in the country.
It's kind of weird because like their defense is elite.
Yeah,
they haven't played the toughest schedule.
No, they haven't.
The SEC outside of Alabama is probably down a little this year.
Yeah.
Like the SEC East.
Florida's down, LSU. It's like the emergence of new powers, right?
I mean, I don't disagree with Georgia being one. I think that's fine.
No, I don't.
I do feel bad for Cincinnati, but again, who have they played? They beat Notre Dame.
Yeah, they have.
Notre Dame hasn't beaten anyone this year. So
I think the argument for Alabama too makes sense. Alabama's the only team.
They did lose to A&M. A&M's like 14.
Yeah, Alabama's the only team in the country in the top 5 in offensive and defensive efficiency.
They're
they're Alabama, right?
You're with Alabama. You're kind of
it's like
fair weather fan, so to speak.
I mean, I have a lot. What do you want me to say? I have a lot of former students playing.
You seem to we don't have to bore everyone with this, but my theory that you are purely a fan.
Here we go. It's funny. It always becomes a quasi slandering session.
Anyway, I don't disagree with Ohio State's probably pretty good. They still have Michigan State. I don't think Michigan State is good. That guy is definitely the Heisman front runner at this point.
The running back?
Yeah.
That guy is ridiculous. That guy was at Wake Forest? What the hell?
Yeah, so give that guy credit. I mean, listen, your Michigan squad, you're a Michigan fan.
I've got some students in Michigan also. Yeah.
And your mentor is there now. So
mentors.
Michigan, they don't win big games. John Harbaugh does not win big games. Period.
Yeah. So, John Harbaugh's won the Super Bowl.
Jim Harbaugh does not win big games.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
So
He's won an NFC Championship game.
He won a Super Bowl. So
he beat USC and I guess gave Pete Carroll an attaboy. He's like, what the fuck was that?
Listen, I don't think Jim Harbaugh is a bad coach, but he's clearly not getting it done. Michigan might have to reevaluate when they lose.
So they've got, I think their last 3 games are Penn State, Wisconsin, and Ohio State, something like that.
They may lose all 3 of those games.
They might lose all 3, and they were like, yeah, we're back at square one again, right? It's like
I don't even think they may lose probably 2 of those games.
They're going to probably lose at least 2, even though I don't know about Penn State. People saying James Franklin has had 1 foot out of the door the last 3 years.
He's come to USC. That's all.
Yeah, people. That's one place he's rumored. The NFL, he's been rumored or whatever.
Yeah,
James Franklin, he's got it's not the X's and O's. People like his organization, how he runs things.
Yeah, I think James Franklin has done really well at Penn State. I don't think he's ever going to win a championship there. So
I think he knows that too. He can up his talent level at USC and possibly compete for a national championship.
Yeah, exactly. I think there's some limitations being at Penn State. Ohio State is probably top 4. They did lose to
Oregon's 4, Ohio State is 5, right?
Lost to Stanford, but then they're winning games. They have
they're winning games,
so they have a good team. So I don't disagree.
Can I say that I don't want to see Cincinnati in the national
what's going to happen? Cincinnati's probably going to lose to one of those 4 teams. Right? So,
Yeah, I don't want to see that. I don't think.
Listen, I do applaud that. Why not? This is probably the year. There's not really an elite team, so give the little guy a chance. But are they going to win? No.
Yeah. From what I've seen from Navy, the Navy game, the Tulane game, that's what hurt Oklahoma. You see, Oklahoma's undefeated in 8 because the committee's
they haven't beaten anyone with the
they haven't beaten anyone, and all they do is playing close games, right? Against these shit teams. Although they'll have an opportunity, right? Because they have Baylor,
Baylor
and Okie State, right? They have left there. So
those are top 15 teams.
Those are top 15 teams, yeah.
Oklahoma needs some of the guys above them to lose, for sure.
Yeah, they do.
But maybe they run the table. Who knows? So
they could. Caleb Williams is certainly reinvigorated.
I don't think – I do feel bad for Cincinnati. It's what else can we do? But at the same time, are you really going to beat those teams that are going to be? Are you really going to win?
Struggling with Navy, Tulane, and
are you going to really win a national championship? So, let's not kid yourself.
Yeah.
College basketball is starting.
It is very soon.
I don't even know what
I think they've been listening to you, Michael, about the product being diluted. You see, first of all, there are no more cupcakes early in the season in college basketball, and I think that's TV driven. It's just nothing but ranked teams playing one another. I don't
know where players are anymore.
Yeah. So they're we got to play the best teams have to play one another.
There's so many transfers, right? The amount of people transferring now in college basketball is even more
college football.
Higher level than football, though.
Yeah.
Every school, in Kentucky, Duke, all these guys are we'll take the transfers. Who cares?
Yeah, they take the grad transfers. Yeah, to try to build
Kentucky too. John Calipari went from one and done to give me your best transfers.
Yeah, give me your best transfer. I'll take the 6-year senior or whatever. And all of it was too much. All of it was too much for Coach K.
I loved college basketball, and now I just don't even.
It's tough to follow, right? I wanted to get a little NBA in the last 2.5 minutes, but first I wanted to get your opinion on the regret that a lot of companies are having with these name, imaging, and licensing deals, right? Spencer Rattler collected a cool $1 million, and they're nobody cares about you anymore. De'Aaron King,
but there's probably some return on that investment to a degree, right? There probably was some exposure to his X amount of social media followers or whatever.
Sure.
I don't want to necessarily call it a not return, but at the same time, dude, all these guys who are, marketers who are targeting young athletes.
Yeah, it's a risk. You got to price it. Hopefully the risk is priced in.
But anyone too, right? That's always been the case. You never know. So I think even now it's more of the unknown. I think it's simply how many followers does this dude have? I don't know if it sucks or not.
JT Daniels.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
A lot of people are
JT Daniels is good. He's just always injured. He's Christian McCaffrey of the NFL, the college football. He is good. He just always hurt. like
He's just always
got to play. So like, yeah, I think it's. Hey, listen, at least the guys are getting some money. Like, there is some value to them. So like, NBA.
A lot of I was gonna see what I'm not sure how much you caught. I've been watching because I'm doing NBA fantasy. Everybody is happy with the NBA except for the players. So like the scoring is down, threes are down. Like it's like a tougher game now. But the players are like, I get fouled and they don't call it anymore. Like nobody cares. It's like
I mean, the product with a lot of NBA and not NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, hockey, like it's such a playoff-driven thing. Like just make the playoffs. Doesn't give a shit. Like the Braves have 88 wins.
88 whole wins this year.
Make the playoffs, you can win. Same thing with like NBA. Same thing with hockey. Make the playoffs, you can win. Like NFL, yes, but like again, that's like a once a week.
So once a week. Yeah.
I just think like, listen, 82 games is a lot.
Yeah.
And like NBA also screwed themselves because these guys don't play back-to-backs. They take days off.
Yeah.
Like, there's load management. Like you're already making it. Like imagine
that's we're actually in the midst of that's a general societal thing, right? And labor in the pandemic induced driven, right? Labor is finally realizing that it kind of sort of has some power over management, right? Like they're like before we were definitely in a mentality where it's like you do as you're told, right? Now people are like, no, I don't want to do as I'm told. And what are you going to do if I don't do as I'm told? And it's kind of sort of upsetting the general order of things, right? That we've been using for quite some time.
So I think people are like, there's no Iron Man, there's no Cal Ripkins there anymore.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all. Dude, people are talking about, you see employers are complaining like they're giving people interviews and like people aren't showing up for interviews. People are getting extended offers and people aren't even responding.
I mean, listen,
this guy off. I never heard from him.
There's been massive movement in the job front. People are definitely hopping on. Like they waited out COVID and are getting new jobs. But I think it's just sad. Like this is now the product of what the NBA and baseball and I guess hockey too. Oh, actually, not gonna lie, hockey was packed. I still think people go to the games, but it's like
it's wholly regional now.
Yeah, it's just such a like. Sad, like not. I don't even know if it's sad.
It's wholly regional. Like if you're in New York, you care about the Rangers and the Devils, but do you care about like the Mighty Ducks, like Anaheim Ducks? Like I don't think you do, or like the Phoenix Coyotes. Like it's like baseball, super regional.
I mean, listen. At the end of the day, gotta like they're never going to do it, but like gotta cut the number of games. Period.
Yeah,
make it competitive. Have like a mid-playoff. I don't know. You got to make the product more exciting.
You cut the games. You cut the games. I don't think labor's gonna want their pay cut though. So what's the trade? What's the trade off?
You're getting paid. I don't know. I feel like there should be some role like load management is illegal. Like get out
there. How do you load manage? You could be like Ben Simmons and be like, "Hey, I'm not mentally ready to play." And the Sixers are like, see our strength to see that. He's like, no. It's like,
I don't know. I guess labor has this, or product has this too much value.
Yeah, product has too much value, right? Yeah.
I don't know, but I mean, you agree with me? It's a weird product now.
I think we're just in a weird time now, man. Like I feel like the pandemic changed a lot. As obviously, we're we kind of sort of try to address that intersection between sports and markets and business stuff like that. And I think this is one case where we're seeing it. Labor across the board is like, hey, like, I'm not going to take this shit anymore. And like, as somebody like it's tough. Like, I feel at one point you'd have been all about it, but now you're the captain. So like, now you're like, I can't necessarily be all about that. Like, you want to hire competent people, right? You want to hire people that are like, yeah, like, I'm going to be there for you. And labor now is like, I'm going to be there on my own terms, which is, hey, right?
The way the world works.
It is. Right, that was our show this week.
Actually, 1 second. Let's talk. Rams still on. I'm still on.
Oh, you want to do the?
Still on the Rams bandwagon. Definitely think they can meet they're this. I still think they're the best team in the NFC because last week the Buccaneers still lost to the Saints.
They did.
And Tom Brady. If you want to force Tom Brady to win games, I don't think he can win games.
No, yeah, a front runner. Like he's like when things are going well, like he's like. I think then again he did come back from 28-3 in the Super Bowl.
Anyway, I like the Rams still like the Rams. AFC is real dicey.
I still like the Chiefs.
I mean, if the
I feel
Chiefs make
safer about the
playoffs-
Chiefs
let me
now
put it
than ever.
this way. I think if the Chiefs make the playoffs, they can make a run.
Yeah.
They're that good. They may not have home field advantage. That probably
No.
doesn't even fucking matter.
I don't think that matters.
Like,
I don't think that matters
in
in
the playoffs. It really comes down to it. Like the Bills, the Titans, the Ravens, the Raiders.
They can beat any of those teams.
Yeah. So, like, I think if the Chiefs can get it together, they don't even have to be the 1 seed. They just have to make the playoffs.
Yeah. So I might get grief for this. I had the Packers and the Chiefs. I still feel very strongly about the Chiefs. I stated at the beginning, like I can't support the unvaccinated quarterbacks, so that ruled out Buffalo and Baltimore for me. And now I found out my guy in Green Bay is unvaccinated. I'm going to switch. I'm going to assume that Matt Stafford did not lie to me when he said that he was vaccinated. In fact, we probably know he's vaccinated because he's playing in LA, right? So I'm going to hop on Mike's bandwagon, and I'm going to switch from Green Bay and their unvaccinated quarterback to the Rams. And I feel like not only are the Rams the best team in the NFC, I think they're the best team in the NFL. And I think they want to be the best team in the NFL. Like, they're literally putting their foot on the pedal. Like, they're not being complacent. Like, they're not just resting on their laurels, in spite of the fact that they're 7-1 or 8-1 or whatever they are. I think they're 7-1. They feel like a team that wants to win the Super Bowl. Very much as we talked about earlier with the Braves. The Braves coming into this year were a World Series contender. And then their best player gets hurt. And then instead of being like, oh, wow, this could be it, they're like, no, we're fucking World Series contender going into this season. Yeah, it sucks Acuna got hurt, but we're still going to go for this. Like, we're in a weak division. We win the division, we get in, who knows what can happen. And that's the case. I think the Rams are also driven by the fact that the NFC is clearly superior to the AFC this year. And Green Bay, New Orleans, Dallas, Tampa are all right there. Those teams might all end up 13-3 or 14-3 or something like that. Cardinals, right? So, like, you have to keep winning and you have to keep getting better. And I think, iron sharpens iron, right? Steel sharpens steel. So,
agree.
I'm hopping off the unvaccinated bus of that Aaron Rodgers was driving, and I'm going to go to Matt Stafford. I'm going to go with the Rams. I'm going to go with Sean.
I'm okay with you jumping because I feel like moral conflicts are okay to change the squad.
Yeah, no, I mean,
you can't support some people.
He lied. He lied to all of us. He lied to America.
Got to have a code in life.
Got to have a code. Man's got to have a code, man. I'm glad we got that bit in. Yeah, we stay consistent with our teams, with picking who we like. So I switched this week from Green Bay to the Rams. So actually, Mike and I have the same Super Bowl picks now, Rams and Chiefs. So which would be a great Super Bowl because we would obviously be seeing a team that's been consistently good all year versus probably a Chiefs team that would be surging at that point, right? That would be trending up. So I think that would be a great game to see. But we'll see. On that note, we'll end this week's show. Michael, this was a good one. Like, I feel like it was over 2 hours, but I feel like we didn't, that the conversation wasn't forced to any guard. We covered a lot.
A lot has been covered.
We'll see what happens with Mike White in about an hour, right?
Yeah, 30 minutes. Yeah, 8:30, yeah. I do not believe in the legend. I will end this with I do not believe in the legend of Mike White.
Wow. We'll end it with that because Mike could be eating his words there. If Mike White has another 405 and 3 touchdowns, and I'll come back.
Prove me wrong.
Yeah. What they recovered? They recovered on? No, somebody fumbled, right? Did Mixon fumble or Burrow threw a pick or something? They got the ball right back. Yeah, when they cut it to a touchdown or whatever. That was crazy. All right, everybody. So you know the drill. We usually do this every Wednesday or Thursday. Again, I haven't been, alerting people because I like the natural organic growth. You know when it comes on.
No paid media. Media.
So
we're not paying for views.
Yeah, we aren't paying. So we'll see everybody next week. Hopefully the picks work out. Take care.
Take care.